Jim Jones's life was cruising along until a video explodes on Twitter, changing everything in a heartbeat. In the video, Brooke Bailey, the reality star, slaps Jim's son. Putty outside a Miami nightclub. Jim furious charges at Brooke in retaliation. Olive. Caught on camera. But here's where things get wild. Jim's mother, Mama Jones, and his partner Chrissy Lamon confront him about the incident. They're not just upset. They're disappointed and worried about how Jim handled it. Mama Jones and Chrissy say Jim made it worse by attacking Brooke when he could have handled it differently. Jim tries to explain himself, saying Putty was just chilling. When Brooke slapped him after accusing him of mocking her, Jim was just protecting his family. But the viral video makes it look like he's the bad guy now. Brooke Bailey is turning the narrative on Instagram, playing the victim while Jim's reputation is in tatters. Brooke walks away with a $90 million divorce settlement, and Jim's left picking up the pieces. Is this just a case of bad timing, or did Brooke trick Jim into the mess that's now blowing up his life? It was a regular day in LA, or so it seemed. Jim Jones, the rapper and Harlem's finest, was living his usual life in the spotlight. He was no stranger to controversy. But this time it wasn't about his music or his career. It was something more personal, something that would explode all over the internet, taking down Jim's reputation one viral video at a time. But let's rewind. Jim wasn't planning on this kind of chaos. He wasn't even in New York, where most of his headlines have been. This time he was all the way in sunny Miami trying to lay low. But as it happens in the world of celebrities, sometimes trying to lay low only makes things worse. A quiet night at a nightclub turned into a media frenzy, and it was all caught on tape. Now the video that sparked all of this is insane. Picture this: Brooke Bailey, the reality TV star, known for her appearances on Basketball Wives and all the drama that comes with it, is seen outside the club, and out of nowhere, she slaps Jim's son Putty across the face. Wait, did you hear that Brooke Bailey slapped his kid? Oh, you bet the internet was ready for this. Putty, Jim's son, was allegedly minding his own business when Brooke accuses him of mocking her. Now, what exactly did Putty say? That's still up for debate, but whatever it was, it apparently crossed the line. Brooke, not one to back down, immediately walks up to Putty and slaps him across the face. That's when things got real messy real fast. Jim, witnessing the whole thing, loses it. He doesn't even think twice. He charges at Brooke, and now the video captures his fury. This was armament no one expected, especially not from Jim Jones, known for being a cool-headed rapper and businessman. But when it comes to family, everyone knows the rules, right? You mess with my kid, you mess with me. But what Jim didn't account for was the cameras and the backlash that was about to come crashing down on him. The backlash begins. So what happens next? As soon as the video goes viral, the internet goes nuts. Everyone's talking about it, and social media is buzzing with opinions, reactions, and of course memes. Some are supporting Jim for protecting his son. Others, however, are calling him out. Why? Because Jim, a grown man, physically charged at a woman, and that is a whole other ball game. The thing is, when you're in the public eye, especially as a celebrity, your every move is dissected, analyzed, and twisted into something that the media can't wait to report. But the real chaos comes from the people closest to Jim. Mama Jones, his protective mother, and Chrissy Lamon, his longtime partner, have a very different view of the situation, and they don't hold back. These two women, who have seen Jim at his best and worst, are now worried about the bigger picture. They know how fast things can spiral out of control in the world of fame. Let's just say the conversation at Jim's house after the incident wasn't exactly a happy family reunion. Mama Jones was fuming. She raised Jim to be a man, respect, to think before acting. But no, her son had thrown all of that out the window. Chrissy Lumpkin. She was more than just disappointed. She was concerned. Both women believed that Jim had handled the situation poorly, and the more they thought about, the more they realized this could ruin everything you see in their eyes. Jim should have taken a step back. He should have thought of another way to resolve the situation. But in the heat of the moment, he acted impulsively, and now they were all stuck cleaning up the mess. What should have been a simple family disagreement turned into a viral disaster. And here's the thing. Brooke Bailey, ever the savvy celebrity, isn't wasting any time. She's now playing the victim while Jim's out here trying to justify his actions and clean up his name. Brooke is out there on Instagram telling her side of the story. She's the innocent party. And Jim, he's the angry villain who couldn't control his temper. It's a classic move. A move that in this case might just work in Her favor, the kicker, Brooke Bailey walks away from all of this with a $19 million settlement. In her divorce talk about hitting the jackpot. Did she know exactly what she was doing all along? Did she trick Jim into reacting the way he did so that she could walk away with a massive payout? We might never know for sure, but she certainly isn't complaining. A family under siege back in the Jones household. The weight of this situation was sinking, and Mama Jones and Chrissy Lannon couldn't help but wonder if this was the beginning of the end for Jim's family dynamic. This wasn't just a slap that caused damage, it was the entire public perception of their family, now hanging by a thread. Imagine for a second being putty one moment, you're just enjoying the night out, and the next you're slapped by a reality TV star. But the bigger issue, now you're dragged into a massive public feud, and your father is at the center of it, being painted as the bad guy. Jim could already feel the heat from the public and from the people he cared about most. Chrissy Lemon, his longtime partner, the woman who had been through it all with him, wasn't just worried about the image they had built together. She was concerned about their future. What would this drama mean for them, for their relationship, for their careers? Meanwhile, Mama Jones, ever the matriarch, wasn't about to let her son be seen as the villain. In this scenario, she raised Jim to be a man of respect, to control his temper. But what she didn't expect was for her son to be so emotionally charged that he couldn't see past the heat of the moment, the turning point as things started to spiral. Jim tried to justify his actions. He wasn't just defending his son, he was defending his family, and he was not going to back down, but the damage had already been done. The viral video was everywhere, and even though Jim's side of the story made sense to him, it wasn't going to be enough to undo the damage in the public eye. Now Jim's life wasn't just in thetabloids for his music or his persona, it was now tied to this moment. The more people saw the video, the more they felt like they were watching an emotional breakdown unfold. Some were quick to jump to conclusions, but in the world of social media, that's just the way things go. When you're famous, your mistakes become everyone's entertainment. As we saw in part 1, Jim Jones had no idea what was coming when that viral video of Brooke Bailey slapping his son Putty outside a nightclub took off. And as much as Jim tried to justify his actions, his reputation took a serious hit. The public was quick to jump on the bandwagon, and Brooke, a reality TV star, no stranger to controversy, was playing the victim card like a pro. So what happened next? Let's talk about the aftermath. The viral video was out there, and now the fallout was inevitable. Jim was trying to get back to his life, but the pressure was on. It wasn't just the public watching, his own family, his longtime partner, and even his mom, Mama Jones, were watching too. And trust me, they were not happy with what Jim had done. Chrissy Ellman, Jim's girlfriend of over a decade, had been around through all his ups and downs, but this was different. Chrissy's disappointment was palpable. She wasn't just worried about the public backlash, she was thinking about their future. She'd seen Jim make mistakes before, but this time it felt like something more personal. Chrissy's main concern wasn't just about the viral video, it was the fact that Jim didn't stop to think before charging at Brooke. It wasn't the kind of reaction she'd expect from a grown man. If Jim had only taken a moment to step back, things could have turned out very differently. Instead, he acted like a man on a mission, and now their lives were hanging by a thread. But this wasn't just about Jim and Chrissy. Mama Jones was in full mama bear mode, and she was not going to let this slide. She wasn't having it. Mama Jones had raised Jim to be a man of respect. She had taught him the value of patience and self-control, and what did he do? He let this anger get the best of him. Mama Jones wasn't angry because Jim stood up for his son. No, she was mad because he didn't handle the situation the right way. For her, it wasn't just about protecting the family. It was about protecting their reputation, their legacy. Now that legacy was at risk, and it was all because Jim couldn't take a step back. But let's talk about the reaction from the internet. This is where things get even more interesting. The viral explosion, as much as Jim tried to justify his actions, the internet had already made up its mind. Once the video went viral, there was no turning back. The whole world was watching Jim's every move, and they didn't hold back. They were already dragging him through the mud, calling him toxic, violent, and unhinged. The video of him charging at Brooke Bailey played on a loop, fueling the fire of public opinion. Jim Jones exposed was trending all over Twitter, and there was no escaping it. Meanwhile, Brooke Bailey was busy doing what she does best, playing the victim. She knew exactly how to work the media and social media to her advantage. Brooke was not the one being dragged across the internet. No, she was the innocent party, and Jim, he was the villain. Brooke took to her Instagram to tell her side of the story, posting about how she had been wronged and how Jim was the one in the wrong. It didn't take long for the sympathy to flood in. Brooke's supporters were quick to praise her for standing her ground and for showing restraint, while Jim's supporters were increasingly left with no solid argument. And let's not forget the big bombshell Brooke's divorce settlement. In the midst of all this drama, it was revealed that Brooke had walked away from her marriage with a $19 million settlement. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm raising an eyebrow here. Was this all part of some carefully calculated move? Did Brooke somehow know exactly what she was doing when she slapped Putty, and was Jim's reaction exactly what she needed to cash out big time? Think about it. Brooke Bailey's media career thrives on controversy. Every moment she's in the spotlight boosts her popularity, and this slap heard around the world was golden for her. Is it possible that Brooke knew what would happen after she slapped Putty? Could she have set the whole thing up to make sure she came out on top? That's a question people are starting to ask. The fact that she ended up with a huge divorce settlement after all of this, well, it's a little too convenient. Don't you think the family drama gets worse? But the real tragedy in all of this isn't just about Brooke and her victim narrative. It's the toll it's taking on Jim's family. The Jones family has always prided itself on being a unit. They've been through so much together. Mama Jones and Chrissy Lanen both had Jim's back during the toughest times in his life. But this situation, it's different. Jim's actions have caused irreparable damage to their reputation. Chrissy Lumpkin was not just Jim's partner, she was his business ally, his right hand, his emotional support. But after this incident, Chrissy's trust in Jim started to crumble. Could she really stay with him after everything that had happened? Could she support someone who'd acted without thinking and potentially ruined everything they had worked for? It was a tough pill to swallow, and it made Chrissy question her future with Jim and Mama Jones. Mama Jones had been the one to teach Jim the values he had lived by for so long. But this was a moment where even Mama Jones couldn't find a way to defend her son. She knew Jim had gone too far, and she was beginning to wonder, had Jim lost his way completely? What could Jim possibly do to fix this mess? Is there any way he could win back the public's trust? Well, that's a question for the ages, but one thing's for sure, Jim was going to need a miracle to repair his relationship with Chrissy. His mother and the public theft scandal had hit him hard, and he was now in damage control mode. Every interview, every social media post was being scrutinized. There was no escaping the internet firestorm that was raging, and while Jim tried to play damage control, Brooke Bailey was still basking in the glow of her new victim's status. The question is, how much longer would she continue to play this game? How far was she willing to go to ensure she remained the center of attention? By now, the world has witnessed the full fallout of the infamous incident between Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey, and it's clear that this scandal is far from over as we dive into the final chapter of the saga. Let's take a look at the long-term consequences of the drama that unfolded and just how much damage this has done to both of their careers. For Jim Jones, this is a defining moment. Sure, he's been through scandals before his rap career, his public feuds, his reality TV moments, but nothing like this. Nothing has hit this hard, this fast, and this publicly. The video of him charging at Brooke in a fit off rage wasn't just some random small clip that would disappear after a few days. No, this is the kind of thing that sticks to you. It lingers like a bad reputation, and now Jim finds himself in a position where everything is at stake. This isn't just a fleeting moment. This could be the end of his career if he doesn't handle it right now. We know that Jim has always been a fighter, whether it's in his personal life or his professional one. But here's the problem. This wasn't just any fight. Jim's response to Brooke's slap was emotional, quick and reckless. It's the kind of moment that's hard to come back from in the public. He didn't just slap back at a person. He slapped back at his entire image, his family, and his career. So what's the next step for Jim Jones? Can he recover from this public humiliation, or has this drama finally gotten the best of him? Legal drama and public backlash. There's something that often gets overlooked in these kinds of situations. The legal implications. You see, when something gets this big, there are always questions of who's suing, who's getting investigated, and what legal consequences are on the horizon. In this case, while we've seen plenty of talk about the drama, we haven't really gotten into the legal side of things. But let's be real. Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey are both going to have to answer for this incident in some form. Brooke's slap wasn't just an emotional reaction, it was a physical altercation, and as we've seen time and time again, the law doesn't take these things lightly now. Imagine the headlines: Brooke Bailey to face assault charges for slapping Jim Jones' son. or Jim Jones, under investigation for assaulting Brooke Bailey. Both scenarios would send tabloids into a frenzy and spark even more controversy. Legal troubles often drag on for years, and they only make things worse in the court of public opinion for Brooke. Her image as the victim could quickly morph into something else if legal action is taken. If the courts get involved and she's forced to pay damages or face charges, her carefully crafted victim narrative could come crumbling down. But it's not just about Brooke. Jim's public persona is already damaged, but now he has to deal with the potential legal consequences of his own actions. After all, while his outburst might have been emotionally charged, it was still a physical altercation the law could look at his violent response and see it as more than just protecting his family. Will Jim face any legal repercussions for assaulting Brooke? It's a possibility that shouldn't be ruled out. What about the future of their careers? Let's shift gears here. It's one thing to deal with legal issues and public backlash. But what does this mean for their careers? Both Jim and Brooke have been in the entertainment industry for years, but how long can they keep riding the fame train? After the scandal for Jim Jones, things are tricky. His career has been all about loyalty, family, and street credibility, but this latest fiasco shows that loyalty only goes so far when emotions take over. Jim's image as a strong, protective father has now been shattered, whether he likes it or not. He's now seen as a hothead, someone who doesn't think before reacting. This could hurt his image as an entertainer if people stop trusting you, stop seeing you as a credible figure. Your music career can easily take a dive. Moreover, the public perception of Jim's actions may lead to sponsors backing away, contracts being canceled, and opportunities drying up. His actions have left him open to brand damage, and we all know how ruthless the entertainment industry can be. Corporate sponsors don't want to be associated with someone who's seen as a liability, and that means Jim might find himself scrambling for relevance in a world that forgets you faster than you can blink. No Brooke Bailey. She's not out of the woods yet. Sure, she's riding high on the victim narrative. But for how long? The world of reality TV is a fickle beast. One minute you're the star and the next you're yesterday's news. Will the public tire of Brooke's victim complex? Will they grow tired of hearing her side of the story over and over again on Instagram? People can only sympathize for so long before they start to ask, what's her wrangle? And let's not forget the $19 million divorce settlement. We're talking about a massive sum of money here, and we'll know how these things go. Did Brooke really deserve the payout, or was this just part of a larger game plan? You can bet the public's eye is on her, waiting for her to slip up. The more Brooke plays the victim, the more people will question if there's more to the story than she's letting on. The real cost of fame and scandal. In the end, fame and scandal have a cost for Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey. This whole situation is going to leave a mark. Jim's reputation has been severely damaged, and while he can try to recover, the world is not going to forget this incident anytime soon. He has public relations work ahead of him, but the question is it enough? And while Brooke may appear to be the one in the clear, now history has shown that scandals have a way of catching up with you. If there's one thing you can say for certain, it's that this scandal has changed both their careers forever. Whether they can repair their damaged reputations or fall victim to the unforgiving nature of public opinion remains to be seen. One thing's for sure, though, the drama is far from over. So what do you think? Can Jim Jones make a comeback after all this, or has this scandal been the final nail in the coffin for his career? Will Brooke Bailey keep riding the wave of sympathy, or will the backlash catch up with her? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking updates as we continue to follow this drama. Well, there you have it, folks. The Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey scandal has unfolded in ways we never expected. But what do you think? Is Jim's career done for, or can he recover from this? And what about Brooke? Will she keep writing this victim narrative, or is her time in the spotlight about to end? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. If you want more exclusive updates on this drama and other celebrity gossips, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future revelations. Stay tuned for more shocking truths.